should have told them they were vegan.
Yeah, you're on
Hey,
vacation.
my wife is vegan.
There you go. See, so
Hmm.
well, they were mainly the donuts were mainly for his so-called girlfriend. Okay, so
Donuts, yum.
donuts, yum. It was not
Donut.
for yeah.
Very nice. All right. Well, hello. Good evening. And happy Thursday. We're back. All right, guys.
Hey, woohoo! Back in the
And we,
hometown. Back in the
that's
hometown.
exactly right. Got to blow the dust off here, get things up
No,
and running.
you're not kidding, man.
So here we are. We are back. We are back from the event. And let me tell you what, it's still kind of a surreal thing, isn't it? I mean, honestly, really.
Yeah,
If we were,
I was talking to Nick Mara. Nick Mara, we were playing phone tag while we were on the island. And I said, you know what? It was just so hard to see everybody, but it was blissful chaos. That's
really
how I
was.
describe it.
Indeed.
I
Yep.
have severe withdrawals, like I told you guys. I wake up and I'm still in Edgartown. It's just at that
Yeah.
book signing.
Well, I tell you what, I was there almost a week prior, and it was if you've ever been to the island in June, it's very quiet because summer doesn't start until July 4th. I mean, this is it. Summer kicks off now, and so it's really quiet. In fact, some of the businesses aren't open yet, stuff like that. You can pretty much go anywhere. You can usually find parking, all that kind of good stuff, and it was within like less than 24 hours. It just erupted. In fact, I was telling Janie the night after our show, I had another interview, met with them, and then I had to run over because I was meeting Gabe over and Rebello from 6 to 8 over, and it was like just bonkers. I walked into offshore. I was like, let's just go sit down and just like have a drink and just sit and kind of decompress from the day. And I looked at the guy at offshore and I said, is this what August is like? He's like, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it just turned nuts overnight. It was it was a good thing. I mean, really good thing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be so packed that I couldn't move. It was crowded and crazy, but not to the point of where it was, uncomfortable.
People,
You-
person to person. Yeah.
Exactly. It was just the right amount of crazy and not too much. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I did. We did try to venture into Edgartown, and Edgartown was pretty bonkers. And like the busing and the cars. I mean, I know the next morning Jen and I got up and we went for a little walk because we were up in Oak Bluffs, and we walked down and basically out to the Jaws Bridge, and just to get a little activity in before the day started. And then I said to her, she said, you know what? I'm tired. I'm going to hop on the bus and take the bus back in. I was like, you know what? I'm going to run back. I'm going to get a couple of miles in. And I just jogged, nothing crazy. I beat her back. She got on the bus, rode the 13 bus in, and I still beat her back before she got back to the cottage.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I should have been doing. I should have been running all around there. I could have lost a couple of pounds.
That'll
It
do
didn't
it.
work. It didn't work. I was there 3 weeks, and let me tell you, wow, whoa, yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah,
food
I
was
got
good.
this morning. Oh, food was amazing. I got up to do a bike ride the other day. And I putting on my gear, and I'm going, who the hell switched this out with little kid clothes? This isn't working. Come on. All right. Well, let me see. We got a comment or two here.
Yeah. Victor and Mark are here. Mark Ames.
Victor and Mark. All right. Good to see you guys. Looks like we got Robert joining us. Sorry, can't tonight. An early start tomorrow, flying to London to Comic-Con. We'll have a good time at Comic-Con.
Nice.
Robert,
Have
cool.
fun.
Say hi to
have a
Richard.
good time.
Very,
To Richard, we said hi.
Yeah.
very cool. Uh-oh, we got another one sneaking in. Who's this guy?
Who this? Who this?
Jim, how are you?
Jim?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I
Hanging in here?
Okay?
We're losing your signal, buddy. You're kind of freezing up, and your sound's a little out.
Hold on, let me get off what?
Yeah, we have. So you guys at home tonight. So tonight's going to be the first edition of a couple editions of a recap of the 50th event. And the reason why is because we simply have so much information, so many pictures, so many video clips. So we're kind of focusing in certain areas. And tonight we're going to be covering our event that was on the 19th, and we're going to be also talking about the reunion, which was that Sunday the 22nd, which was an amazing event. So what I'm trying to do is trying to get some people on that were at these events. So we got a couple guests on tonight. We've got Jim Conway has joined us a couple times for some trivia nights and stuff like that, and definitely a regular on the page. And we've got Val Capone joining us tonight. So he's definitely been on the page for a while, but this is his first time on the show. So love having you guys. We got someone else that should be popping in here in a little while too. But hey, fun to have people on, fun to have some fresh faces, fun to have some return veterans here, and get a little bit of different perspective from what was going on while we were there, and how you guys did. So thanks for coming in and joining us, guys. I hope you guys are doing very well. I hope your time on the island was as memorable as it was for the rest of us, because it was killer.
100%.
It really was. Yeah. Robin's joining us. Can't wait to hear about it all. Awesome.
Hey, Robin.
Very cool. Well, we started off, the big shebang for us was the 19th. That was on the 19th, and I got to say, the way the day started off, I was kind of a little like, Mike and I showed up there. It was like, I don't know, 9:45. I think I got there. We were supposed to set up, kind of go through. I want to go through, see how things were going to work out. And thinking to myself, oh, great, we'll show up for an hour. Judy was popping in around 11. I'll talk to her for a little bit. We'll run a sound check, a video check, go home, grab some lunch, relax a little bit, come back at 1:30. I never left the museum. Neither did Mike. We were there the entire time.
Yeah.
We were there until after 4 o'clock, and my gosh, I mean, it was just all hands on deck, but a lot of fun. So very cool. So how about some feedback here?
Feedback, I guess, for us for getting there on the 19th, it was a bit of a rush up until the point we got out of, or trying to get out of Boston. It took us a lot longer to get to Falmouth and then get to the ferry than we anticipated. So I guess that's a rookie lesson learned. But we were able to listen. It was a little shoddy because of the cell phone connection where we were in the car, but we had you guys playing over the rental car, listen to everything. And it was hard to tell what was going on because my wife's trying to point out the video and I'm trying to listen to everybody, and I could tell voices, but we didn't know Dreyfus was in the room with you guys at one point. Some of the others, we could tell, but that was really cool. And it came full circle later once you got into the museum, once you saw, I guess, how tiny that room was. I mean, the whole place isn't huge, so I'm sure for you guys that were there, that was a pretty cool, quaint experience. But no spoilers for what happened the rest of the week. But the 19th was very cool because I think for the first time for us getting there, ever being there before, it was really, really cool. Such a beautiful area. And I can say from being outside in balmy North Carolina right now, where we're just roughing it at the golf course, it was very, very, very pretty with the temperature. No humidity.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, sorry, not to interrupt, but we have Bill, our other guest, is on here. Bill, I've got you in here. We don't see your video though. It sounds like we got audio, so I'll let you kind of get that squared away. I'm sorry, Val. I did not mean to interrupt you. So
No, go.
On your end.
There he is.
There I am.
There's Bill.
Who dat?
Be right back.
All right, Bill. Thanks for joining us, buddy. How are you?
Good. So we came that Thursday. Actually, we had come from Hyannis, and we were like running on the ferry. Got off the ferry, and then ended up at dropping our bags at the hotel, and then sort of just ran right over to where you guys were. So it was, sort of rush, run. But waiting for you, we ran into Wendy Benchley. So that was really cool. And I had a really nice talk with her.
Yeah.
And she was really incredible. I sort of was just talking to her about, my experience with seeing the movie at like 10 years old and then reading the book at 10 years old and sort of it being a more of an adult book, but sort of still getting the basis of it, and then going back years later and reading it, realizing, what that reality was. But she said she hears that a lot. So that was sort of cool that she sort of validated that point too, of people reading it, as a young kid and then getting the love of books.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very
I
cool.
don't even have shorts, so I can't.
So-
even do it.
So Val, give us a
Yep.
little feedback, because Val had a pretty interesting interaction with our surprise guest that evening. So give us a little bit, Val.
So, for us, that event was sold out, first of all. It was sold out for weeks. A week before the show, I got an email from someone at the Martha's Vineyard Museum saying, hey, 2 tickets opened up. I go, my ferry's at 12 o'clock. Will I be able to make it? If it's from 12 to 1, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it. So we got on the ferry at 12, and we got just to the museum just in time. And, I'm a huge Jaws fan, like I told you guys, since 1975, saw it hundreds of times. I'm going to see it again in IMAX when it comes out August 29th. IMAX and 3D, it's coming out.
Yeah.
So, there's my head. And if you look at the bottom, that's my big bald head on the bottom right. That's my head right there.
My goodness.
And my wife next to me. I couldn't see
Stop.
because the big guy was in front of me. I had to keep on going around him to see. But as you guys who were there know, at the end of the event, after Richard Dreyfuss comes in, and like I told you guys before, I taped him coming in. I put it on TikTok, and it went viral. It's got 1.6 million views. It has as of right now. So that was amazing.
Wow.
But at the end, as everybody's going up to Richard Dreyfuss, and I'm just waiting in line. I tell my wife, hey, take some pictures of this. So after there's a little bit of space, I went up to him and I said, hey, Richard, I'll give you $50 for that hat.
Oh,
And
yes.
and I took the $50 bill out of my pocket, and I handed it to him, and he took the 50, he bit it, stuck it in his pocket, and gave me the hat. And
There you go.
I went nuts, and I got the hat. And this is within 2 hours of being on Martha's Vineyard. And I said to my wife, that's it. I'm done. Nothing else can be as great as this. As wearing the hat that Richard Dreyfuss had on his head. In that picture, that hat is now mine. So it was a
I think you got the
fantastic
best
moment.
deal. I think you
Yeah,
got
he
the
did.
best deal.
He's selling it for $150 online right now. So
Yeah,
I saved
well,
$100.
Just an autograph is double that. So you did pretty well.
It was
It's
fantastic.
autographed, right? Right, Val?
Yeah, it's autographed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's autographed.
yeah.
Yeah,
right
you
here.
came out on top.
I sure did. It was great. A great moment. A great moment for a Jaws fan. It was just great.
And the story that goes with it, you can't put a price on that. I mean, unbelievable.
I've
you
been telling
know?
that story everywhere, showing pictures. I've just been bragging about it all along. I mean,
After the show, he
I'm on-
texted me and said, "Tell that guy he owes me $90." So
I heard
He's
somebody told me
probably
on
serious.
Facebook. Somebody told me on Facebook that his wife was yelling at him outside for giving me the hat, saying that he's going to get sunburned now. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
he did have another one the next day. So you got
Yeah.
the oceanographic, I guess, fishing hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he
she's
did have
very,
one
very
on.
protective of him. Yeah, she's very protective of him. So.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame her.
Yep.
He-
Yeah.
he's-
In her defense, she was very nice, and I know
Oh,
this
yeah.
is just about the 19th. On the 20th, she was very nice. She wanted to make sure everybody got to see him.
That's
So I
great.
think you got a great experience, and that's super cool that you got to walk away with that, because we spent a lot more in about 36 seconds.
I'm sure.
Well,
But yeah, it was the greatest. It was the greatest. And thanks to you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
well,
Thanks for coming.
thank you. I mean, it was an amazing surprise. We did not know where he was coming. I mean, there was an inkling that he was on the island or whatever, but we're there, and Mike walks over to me. I don't know, what were we, halfway through the show?
Well, you were setting up at the front, and I was over at the table. I was talking to Tom Dunlop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, Richard's business partner, I see him in the back, and he does this. So I wave, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes. So I walk up, and he goes, "If you don't mind, Richard would like to come on the show." And I was like, "We're booked, We're booked. He's got,
No, you did not. You liar.
No,
We're sold out. You need a ticket.
I was like, did he have a ticket? Did he buy a ticket? No. And I said, you're kidding, right? He goes, no, he's going to come by. He wants to come on the show. I was like, okay, great. Great to have him. So I went over to Nate. Nate was finalizing stuff with Gigi. And I leaned over and I said, Dreyfuss is here. And Nate just looked up and he just looked at me and I nodded. And I told him, I said, because we've really, as in the Jaws world, I think as popular as this show is, afterwards, we've gotten so many messages and comments and stuff. And I said to Nate, Nate, we're like Stallone the day before Rocky opened.
Yeah.
I said, tomorrow, everyone's going to know about this show.
Yeah.
But it was just a great time. All the guests were great. I mean, you got Dennis there, Richard, Joe, Gary Springer, Tom Dunlop, Jeff Kramer, Casey, Richard's stepdaughter.
Casey,
it was just a fun time, and it was just very, it was very natural. It was just what we do all the time. We just did it in front of people for the first time, and it was a good experience. It was fun.
Yeah, and Bill, you were in the front row. Am I right?
Yes, I was right across from him. My wife and I were just right there, right in front of him. So that was really, really cool. And after I walked up and just started talking to him, my wife and I both did, and he was really nice. I had asked him about that Hooper question. I asked him if he thought that was the right choice to not have Hooper like portrayed as in the book, and he said he thought that was a really smart move on Steven's part, which I had always wanted to know.
Yeah,
And then my
question.
wife asked him about what was his favorite movie, and he said he couldn't really say, but she had said she loves Mr. Holland's Opus, and he sort of made a little okay sign to her, pointing at her, smiling. So that was sort of a neat little wink that I think that's one of his favorite films. But he was very approachable, very nice.
He always is. That's why. Quick plug for the Fanatics book. That's why, which I finally got, Nate. I actually got to hold it in my hand the other day.
Yay! I'm waiting for the hardcover.
My book showed up. That's why I asked Richard to write the foreword. And when he asked me why, I said it's because you get it. You understand what this community is. And if you had the book, if you've read it, you read his foreword, and you see he gets it. We're a Jaws family. That's what we are. And
Exactly.
for him to do that, I'm trying to think of something to do for them next weekend in Tampa, because they're going to be down there to thank them not only for being part of the book, but for showing up on the show and just being so supportive. I knew him in the 70s, but I never knew him. And 6 years ago, I had the great opportunity to moderate his Q&A, and kind of looked out for him there because the guy that was doing the show wasn't doing a good job. And I got a very nice phone call from his wife. And from then we've gone into a genuine friendship, and it's something that I treasure. But yeah, for him to come and do that and to be so generous with his time. And if you watch the show, the original idea was Richard was just going to sneak in, and then I was going to say, we have time for one more question, you in the back. And he was going to stand up and ask a question. But Jeff Kramer spotted Svetlana out in the hallway and said, "Oh, if you're here, he's here." And I was like, "Well, there goes the surprise."
There goes the surprise.
And I'd be remiss, but I do want to say, I want to publicly apologize to Gigi Borgen. We had things, we had everything set up, ready to go, and the sound was working good. I'm a bit of a rookie trying to transfer all that over, and when we got a room full of people, it went haywire, and unfortunately, really affected her. So, Gigi, if you see this, again, my sincerest apologies about how that worked out. I really appreciate you hanging in there, and I mean,
yeah, really, she may get a dozen roses if somebody gives me her address.
You should not feel bad about that at all, man. You walk into a room, coming from an IT guy, you have no idea what else is going on. You guys did a fantastic job. And just the fact you were able to choke through it, not even choke through it, but to make it all a success. Don't worry about the audio quality issues. It was still fantastic.
Well, I
And
tell
this
you
is,
what, if it wasn't for Nate and Mike, to be honest, I feel like I didn't do squat. All I did was show up.
That's all we
I
ever
just
had.
stood with my back against the wall. I think I said 2 things, and I just stood there for 2
I was
hours.
over in the corner because but Nate and Janie, in our defense, we were fans. We were
Well,
with
true,
everybody
yeah.
else. We could have been out in the audience because we were listening to their stories.
Yeah.
To
what
Joe
I
and
did.
Gary and Tom. And it was
Yeah.
and Jeff telling his stories, and it's just like, okay. We're like
Yeah.
we're like Hooper watching Quint do the Indianapolis speech. We're just
Oh, I
mesmerized.
know. And
Yeah.
and you know, when he first came walking in fact, Val, if you're okay with, I'm actually going to play your clip of him walking in, of Dreyfus coming in the room. When he first came in and walked up to the front, I was a little kind of like dumbstruck, and I was trying to make sense of the situation because, you know, I don't know if you saw the look on my face, but like the sweat just started rolling down my face when he walked in. I was like, okay, and walked up front, and he walked up and he bent over and he's having a one-on-one conversation with Joe Alves. And I'm going, wait a second, like what's going on here? And the more I sat and watched and listened, I
Yeah.
realized how cool of a moment that was. That
Yeah.
wasn't Richard Dreyfuss, the actor,
Did
coming in to meet Jaws fans. That was
okay.
Richard Dreyfuss connecting with someone who probably hasn't talked to in a long
Crap.
time.
Yeah,
And it was
because
a very intimate one-on-one moment with
Yep.
Joe. I just
yeah.
thought that was really cool.
It was like two
Because
friends seeing each other after a long time. That's what it was.
exactly. That's exactly
You
right.
can
Because
feel the emotion.
yeah, I was telling Jen, Nate's wife, I said, you got to realize they worked on Close Encounters as well. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of history
yeah.
between him and Joe. And then I got this great picture of the two of them talking and the chief over here right in the background. And it is the best picture I've
Yeah.
ever had of Michael Smith. And I'm going to get it framed for you, man. It
Oh,
was so
thank you.
good. It's such a good picture.
If we have time, then I'll show you my favorite Mike Smith picture from the whole thing. But let me pull in Val's clip. If you haven't seen
Yeah,
Val's
go
clip,
for
I
it.
saw a couple clips of Richard coming in. Val's was really good. He got a really good shot. So let me
It's
pull
under
it in.
Buster Capone on TikTok. Buster Capone.
All right.
There were a few people that I don't know who heard this in passing, but I'd be amiss without saying it. There was a lot of people that said if it wasn't for Nate and Michael, this probably would not have happened.
Oh yeah.
And if we
Absolutely.
go back, not even 6 months ago, when Nate and I were bouncing messages back and forth without getting into specifics, this thing kind of came out of nowhere. And we all got to experience different pieces and parts of it. But I think that day when you guys were there on the 19th, you got to see a different side of Dreyfus, because I think at that point he wasn't tired yet. So when we met him, there was a different, a bit of exhaustion, and who at that age could, I mean, I'm 43 and I'm exhausted right now just from working one day. I can't imagine what it's like meeting, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 people. I have no idea the
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
So I think in the moment in that room, you got a different perspective. He was truly proud to be there, and then he just had to deal with the rest of us for the rest of the week. So I have to appreciate what you guys saw.
Yeah.
I wanted to hop in. I wanted to say I've got to hop off in like 5 minutes, but I did want to just hop on today. And two things I wanted to say. And one thing Michael said was about the Jaws fandom and the family that weekend. I thought that was one of the greatest things, that there wasn't a person that was not pleasant. Everyone was very pleasant. Everyone was friendly. And I think that speaks a lot to the community and to what you guys do on here to sort of bring everyone together. And I thought that was really incredible. I mean, I think everyone else felt that too. And I
Oh,
think,
100%.
and I think that the event on the 19th, that was the first one that we went to. And I have to say that was the best of the weekend, because it was really a panel and it was really a family discussion of us all talking about what we love. And when it started, right away, all of you just came up and said, let's just start getting questions. You didn't try to predispose it. And I thought that speaks a lot to how the weekend was handled. You know, it was really a fan event of things that we wanted to hear, we wanted to say, we wanted to know. And I think that you guys, like I said, that was by far the best event we went to. It was controlled, it was
Wow.
small. I mean, there was only, what, 60 people. I was very fortunate to
Yeah.
get those tickets. And, you know, we went to the Wharf event. I mean, the lawn event was okay, but it wasn't as planned as yours. Like, we went to every event we could that weekend. I think we went to 6 events, ping ponging. But I have to say that your event really was, had I not gone there, I think I would have been disappointed, because that's sort of what I was expecting, was an event where we could come and, as a sort of a Jaws family, hear the stories, ask the questions, and have an organized way to do that together in a room. You know, and I think
Yeah.
that really
Oh,
speaks to
thank
you guys
you.
of how well it was done. And other people I talked to were like, wow, I missed that. And they'd seen it and they were like, you're so lucky that you got to go, you got to experience that. And it was just a really great experience, I think, for the weekend, especially for people who were there and people who got to see it after.
Oh, that's
That's,
very
that's
that's
very cool. Really appreciate
It
that.
was the
thank
highlight. It was
you.
the highlight of my trip. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely
as
Awesome.
great
was.
as the trip was, it started off great, and it was a fantastic event. Your event was fantastic.
It was a
Wonderful.
little. It's a little bit more of an intimate thing, is what it was, and I think the one-on-one, where you're not with a crowd, you get to hear the people. You're right there in the same room. It is kind of like a homecoming,
It was like
and that
family.
it
That's
was
what it
like a
felt like. It
family.
felt like
It was a
family. We were
family
family.
event. It was a family event,
That's
and
what
so
we always
yeah,
refer to it as. Yeah.
yeah.
So I did just want to hop on and say thank you. I've got to hop off, but thank you for inviting me
Nice
on.
seeing
Oh,
you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Yep, and
Thanks
I'll
for
keep in
joining us.
touch. I'm friends with you guys on Facebook, so I'll definitely keep in touch with you guys, and
Definitely.
gonna try and make
absolutely.
it. Gonna try and make it to the next event.
All right.
Alrighty.
We appreciate that, buddy.
Take care, Bill.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
again.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so let me pull Val's clip in real quick here, and maybe we can kind of jump over, talk a little bit about the reunion. Then, how's that sound, guys? Pretty good,
Yep.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
because I know you guys were there for that. So
I was
let me
there.
pull in Val's clip here. Here we go. I got this over on a separate one, so let me get this started. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many people here are over 50?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you were here the first time around.
Yeah.
Yeah. We buried sharks here. Okay. Hi. Hello.
I made that for you, Richard.
Did you hear that line? He said, I think he said, we buried sharks
Uh-oh.
We
here.
buried sharks
That
here.
is such
Yeah.
a fantastic line. That is so classic. I love that line. I didn't hear it until I watched it back.
Yeah.
It was a great line.
It wasn't one that I expected to hear from him. You know, that's what was so cool about it. Yeah, yeah. All
So
right,
cool.
here we go.
So
We got
cool.
you back.
There's Jim.
There's Jim.
Sorry. I'm in the
No,
middle
you're
of the
good.
golf course. We're not playing. We're just at the clubhouse. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Hey, that's dedication. That's
That right there.
dedication. That's
Man.
and again, it goes back to what we were talking about. In fact, I had the fortunate chance to hang out and spend some time with Jim, and honestly, like seeing like Val meeting you for the first time again. You know, as we talked about, it was that whole family thing, and it was like Jim and Jamie. There was a handful of people. It's like meeting them for the first time, and Jamie, it was like, I've known you forever. And it's like Jim and I literally sat down and just kind of hung out. And it was like it was someone that you know, it's someone that you do know. And it was so fun because I'm sitting there face to face across from him or from you, Janie, or whatever. And everyone was perceived as what I envisioned. It was just awesome. It was like a high school reunion. Someone you haven't seen in forever.
Yeah.
You're sitting down
Yeah.
with them. And
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was just so damn cool.
I have to second that. I think Nate and I spent quite a few hours together, and I feel very fortunate that he had some time to do that. I spent some time with Mike the last night, and honestly, I'll say this if I haven't said it already. I mean, meeting you guys actually was the pinnacle for me, because to have this passion is a different level of that being involved in the production. And the bittersweet part of all this is I hope we can somehow get together at another time and do this in our own right. Because as I know we don't want to say it out loud, none of us wants to admit this out loud, but that could have been, it or what it is. In 10 years, I hope we can do this again, or even a small fashion. But among all else, and especially Janie, we didn't get to meet you, but we really wanted to. We were trying to. But the people that and Mark, I know I really wanted to meet Mark and everybody else. And I saw Victor. I didn't get to talk to him, but for me, that was my top part of the trip. Honestly, it was great meeting Dreyfuss. It was great meeting all the actors. It was great seeing the scenes. But when you meet some people that have the same passion as I've had as a little kid, that kind of pulls it all for full circle. When we came back and we watched the movie again and again, it's just not ever going to be the same in a good way.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not ever
Exactly.
the same. Because once you've seen it before, and then you're like I said, that island is a movie set, and it really is. Then you have a better perspective, and you have a more fun perspective.
We were at one point.
Hyannis, yeah.
Yeah,
we in Falmouth.
We stayed in Falmouth, but there was one point where we did like a really tourist thing. And again, this is not on the 19th. I know we're supposed to stay on the 19th. I think this was on the 20th. And we were sitting in front of where Mayor Vaughn comes out. And it's this old, dilapidated building that's for lease. And we've kept a lot of the pictures close to heart. And we're working on kind of fine-tuning them. But when I got up, I had this massive stain on my pants. And it was because that building isn't being washed off or cleaned off. But then you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, that was cool. That's exactly where we were. So that just kind of adds to the trip. And I was fortunate enough to go with my family. I know Nate's wife was there. We unfortunately didn't get to meet her, but I did meet Mike's wife.
The lovely Juanita.
The lovely Juanita.
She was amazing, talking about, sports back home. And everyone's spouses or the people we met, they were like, we're glad you have this. We are glad you have this to come back to, to speak about. And that brought it again full circle, because this is something we're all only going to have. And, we're not going to be able to drag our spouses in another 10 years to this, but if we can, that'd be great. But it was super fun. Yeah, the family is over here, but
listen, 100% agree. And to be honest with you, spouses that were there, whatever friends, loved ones that were there that are not the Jaws people, they probably also looked around and went, holy shit, I didn't realize there were this many of you. You know what I mean?
My wife has a new appreciation for Jaws. She loved the people she met. We're showing it tomorrow on my 120-inch screen outside.
Fantastic.
So, I've made her a Jaws huge fan now.
That's what happened with my ex-husband. I mean, we're still very tight, in good friendship. But when we went to the island the first time, and then when we met Mike and Juanita the second time, it was just like, now he's a big fan. So he gets it now. Yeah, we kind of I don't say brainwashed them, but
you do. But we do need another generation to keep this going.
My grandkids, they love the movie.
Yeah. My son is one of those, and not to keep it later in the point, I do want to kind of move on here, but
Sorry,
I told you guys, no. I was a broken record that I was there. My biggest thing there, honestly, was the people and seeing the people, meeting people. And I kept walking around all weekend with a shirt. Not to get signatures necessarily from people from production of a movie, just from friends and Jaws family people. And this is the final product. I've got
I was honored 50. That you let me sign that. I was honored.
Best honor of the whole trip. Best honor of the whole trip.
You're right.
Best honor of the whole trip.
That was awesome. And this is like I said, this is my memoir. This baby. I'm actually going to pick up a frame for it tomorrow. That's going to go up on the wall. And this was just Jaws family. That's all it was. So, Val, you didn't have to feel honored. That's what this is what I was after. I wanted us. You know what I mean? This is my memory of us. And to me, that just made the entire trip just that much better. You know what I mean?
The honestly, greatest idea you had, man. And when you asked me to sign it, I'm sure others can share that sentiment. But I was like, really? Me? This is my first time. But all right, let's do this thing.
It's my favorite autograph.
But it was a little bit of a tearjerker. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was great. Great moment.
Yeah, very cool stuff. Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the reunion. The reunion was on Sunday, and I have to say, I thought the reunion was amazing. I don't do like a lot of like cons and things of that nature. I did SharkCon last year, but I have never really done an awful lot of those types of things. And I just thought it was neat because again, it was to me it was an intimate setting. It was everything was attainable and approachable. Everyone was. And, like I'm over and hanging out. We're talking to Mike, and Joe's sitting next to them, and then I'm over, with Jim. I ran into Val. I saw Dean. Dean shows up. I never expected him to even come. And there was a group of us, Jamie and all the other guys, sitting around the table. And Tom comes over and is hanging out with us for like an hour, and I'm walking around, and
He was
just
so
running
nice,
in.
Tom. So nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
So
awesome.
super
Such a
generous
wonderful
and
individual.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was great.
And just being able to kind of mingle and kind of intertwine with people, and not rushed, or I have to get in this line and I need to do this. We were just there. It was just
It
like
was
a
it was
hangout. It was an
it
afternoon
was very
long.
intimate, very intimate.
Yes, yes. And it helped that Jim kept feeding me tickets for free Narragansett beer. That didn't hurt at all. Let me tell you.
We got
I
to give a
guess that
shout out. You got to give a shout out to the Martha's Vineyard Museum staff. They were
absolutely.
Yes,
terrific.
they
Yeah,
were
they were
excellent.
on point.
So
Before coming up, I called them months before, and I was talking to Bill Heifler, his name is. They were so helpful, telling me, where to park, where to go, and just super, super helpful. And you saw how they treated us during the podcast event and on the reunion. The staff was fantastic. Fantastic.
They
oh,
they treated us like royalty, I gotta say.
Yep.
well, and behind the scenes on our end of things with Kathy, with Laurel from the museum,
Yep.
Yeah.
amazing individuals. In fact, I wanted to connect with Kathy outside of the events just to talk to her, and I unfortunately did not get the chance. And also Monica from the Gazette. She was one of the big driving forces behind the event on Sunday. Just amazing people. I mean, they all called me up when I stopped in to see the museum. I don't know, it was like the Tuesday before our event, and Kathy's like, "Hey, there's reporters here. How about I have you sit on a report?" And Monica emails me and says, "Please come over to the Gazette. Come over Friday afternoon. I know much going on. I want to take you on a tour." And just awesome individuals, and 100%, Jim, and Val, everything that you guys are talking about. We saw that not only during the event, I saw that behind the scenes of the event, which goes even further, in my
Further.
book.
Yeah. They were
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I will say this, and forgive me for skipping turn. I know there's probably a lot you guys want to talk about from
You're good.
that day, but I gotta say, and these are pictures we haven't been able to fine tune for Michael. But I want to say one of the most favorite people that I met from that day of the reunion was Roy Scheider's daughter. And it wasn't because of meeting Roy Scheider's daughter. It was when Michael gave over his trove of selection of the fact that he was, and I don't know how many people
Wow.
know this, but the Michael, you're going to have to fill in the words here, but you were basically the president of 2 fan clubs, if I remember that right. Yeah, thanks for putting up the photo. And Nate pulled me aside at one point and he said, "Hey," or somebody said, "You got to go over and see what's going on with Molly Scheider," because she was in tears. And
Yeah.
when she was going through this album, these are not pictures that you can go to a store and buy or even go on to Universal, because everyone has this like story card of exactly everything that was going to it. Michael's collection should be in a museum, but he
Oh,
was
I know.
giving Molly a choice
Yeah.
to pick out what she wanted, and that was amazing.
It's great. I wish I could have met her. I missed her.
Yeah. It was. It
No,
was. It was.
it was great.
Go ahead, Jim. Yep.
No, it was great. And Mike, we do have some great pictures that we just want to send to you, and you can do with them what you want. But that did really put the cap on the whole trip for me.
I dug out my old scrapbook with newspaper clippings and magazine articles, and I had some magazines where Roy had been on the cover, and I gave them to her, and because she was 14 when Roy passed, and she was born in '93, so a lot of his success was before she was born, because once Roy got remarried and had Christian and had Molly, he stayed home more to devote time to his family. So there's a lot of stuff that she was aware of, but she didn't, and for her, she gave me a hug, and she told me that they have a book that Roy gave Brenda, his wife, at their house. That's when you come in the house, it's the first thing you see. It's like in a place of honor. And she goes, I'm going to put this there so that everybody comes in can see that. And then I had all the studio stills I've collected and over the years. And I told her to take whatever she wanted from those. The only thing I kept from the scrapbook were the letters that he had written me. And I told her, I said, if you don't mind, I'd like to keep these, but you can have everything else. So, yeah.
I was actually going to videotape that, but I did not want to steal that moment from her and her to be self-conscious. I did snap that picture, and I just kind of left the rest of it ride because it was a really cool, touching moment. And it was a moment between you guys, and we just happened to be able to be spectators to it. Yeah, it really, really was cool. Yeah.
And plus Ken Ivory next to her, Roy's head double. He looks like a younger Roy Scheider if you go up and talk to him.
Yeah.
And if you sit behind him, he looks like Roy Scheider's head. So, yeah. But that was probably my favorite part of the weekend was finally being able to meet her. We've emailed, but I never had the opportunity to meet her. So it was definitely a great time, a great moment.
And there was a lot of those little happenstance meetings, whether it was people that lived on the island that just happened to be in some of the scenes, whether it was, run into Val again. I saw Val on our show. You're like, hey, we should catch a moment together. And just in general, like Court, the guy who we had on the show that had the orca set up in the back with the cabin, calls me on the phone because we were trying to get together. Calls me on the phone. He goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm here. I'm out front. He goes, "You got to come around back. Marty wants you to come in and have a picture with me in the orca with him." I was like, "I'm your guy. I'm going to be there." And so that was like the picture of the three of us, and he's pointing out his Jaws scar that he has because he messed his hand up while fixing the shark one day, and so that was it was just cool. I wish I had a picture of everyone I was there with. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge picture guy, but 90% of my pictures are me with someone else. It's like I didn't really take pictures of the event. It was just me seeing other people and hanging out with people, and it was just a lot of fun. Same with Chief Brody, Mike there on the right side with you and me and Mike there, and it was just so much fun just to spend time and just hang out and have time to be able to spend beyond, hey, how you doing? I'm Nate, and I'm a Jaws fan or whatever. It was way more than that. I thought that event was so well done. Monica came up to me halfway through the show and she said, "I want feedback from you because I know you're not going to lie to me." She said, "How is it going?" And I said, "This is how these type of events should take place. These should not be people sequestered to a line behind a security, behind a rope. This is how things should happen right here." And that is, in my mind, just the ideal situation.
You could just walk around. You could just walk around. I walked around. I bumped into Carla, who played the estuary girl, who's like the shark. She was she's like, I wore my own clothes. I look like a hippie. You just went up and talked to people, and they just told you their little story. Greg Dole, how he his story about the Shark 350, and I sat next to Carol Fluger, who babysat all the kids during the production. I didn't even know it was her until I'm like, wait a minute, I just saw you in the documentary. I just watched that the Lawrence Road documentary. It's just wandering around, just talking to people. Everybody was friendly. I saw no ugliness at all the entire time I was on that island. None
whatsoever. No, I agree.
Nothing but love and love of Jaws and love of it was amazing.
Yeah, no strong personalities, no. Mm-hmm. And like I said, one of the biggest things, is that everyone. I mean, let's face it. We often talk about, myself being a teacher, we talk about the ugliness of social media. and of being on the internet, and not a single time, not a single person. I did not meet one person. I was like, that is not the person that I know
Mhm.
on the pages. Every one of you guys
Yep.
was just amazing individuals. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Awesome. Janie, you all right?
Yeah.
Just having a sentimental moment there with Mike.
It was
That
great.
was pretty amazing.
It was
really
great. I mean, there'll never be, I hate to say it, but there'll never be another event like that in our lifetime, I don't think. That kind of a huge Jaws event. I mean,
Jaws 75. I'll be 89.
yeah, well, if I'm alive in 25 years, I'll be there, man. I'll be there every year. I told my wife we're going to go every year back to Martha's Vineyard. Here, you want to see how big a fan my wife is? Here's a jacket she got. You see all this?
No kidding. Hold on. I got
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Hey, Juanita.
Hey, Nate.
Good to hear from you. That's
I made
pretty
her a
cool,
fan.
That's pretty cool. And that's pretty neat. You converted her over to being a fan because my wife is a Jaws fan, but it's through attrition. It's just kind of
Oh.
like you're kind of,
You
you're
have
kind of
to.
forced into it almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, for the longest time, I'm a huge movie fan, like you all are. And for the longest time, people say, what's your favorite movie? I never had a favorite movie. I couldn't pick one that I thought was better than every other one I saw. But little by little, every year, Jaws just kept creeping up and creeping up. And just like, there's not one bad, it's a perfect film. And now I can say it's the best movie. It's my favorite movie and the best movie I've ever seen. I mean, without a doubt.
100%. 100%.
No argument. here.
We got. Sorry, I'm not seeing any comments come across the page there. Maybe someone kind of peek over there, but we got. Doug just popped in and said, "Sorry, I missed this reunion weekend. I do want to get out there this summer." Well, Doug, I will tell you this. Right now, I think does it start today? Amity Week is this week. And then again, it sounds like there's going to be a reprisal again in August, particularly when the movie gets re-released. It comes out again. In fact, I was talking to Todd Ravello, who is in as far as quite understanding how things are working, and so it's not. Even though that was the big weekend, it's the summer of the shark. I mean, it truly is. This is going to continue throughout the summer. I was even. I was hanging out with another friend of mine, Mark Ames, who wasn't there for these events, but was there for a handful of days, and we spent a lot of time together, and just had a blast. And there were still so many things going on, and we were having such a good time. I mean, it's going to continue. This is going to be all summer long.
Like I said, August 29th, it's coming back in theaters in IMAX and in 3D. So I'm going to see them in both. Out in LA, I think mid-September, the exhibit opens up at the Academy Museum, the huge Jaws exhibit. That opens up mid-September. So it's going to be the year of Jaws. Yeah, it's going to be.
It really
everywhere.
is.
And the Shark is Broken is going to be on the island as well. So
that. Well, speaking of the Shark is Broken, one of the people we have on tonight here, Jim. Jim, do you want to tell people or offer these up?
So yes, I do want to do this, and Nate, feel however you want to run with this. And hold on, pin in that for a second. Nate mentioned that he doesn't have any pictures with just him and some of the other things at the event, but we do have a real gem of Nate and his amazing tattoo right there on the foot of the Arca with Ian Shaw's signature, which if none of you know how he got this, I'm not going to spill those beans, but we've got the pictures to prove it. So we'll just leave it there. We'll share those later, maybe another time. But yes, so I was so moved the night that the show had Ian. Well, I can't remember the name of the producer, so somebody fill it in for me, Michael, Nate, whomever.
It was Guy and Dave. Yep.
Well, it's Guy Masterson directed it.
Guy Masterson.
And Nate was courteous enough to ask a couple questions, and it just moved me back. So what I did was okay, I'm going to go back in 3 weeks to Martha's Vineyard, where that did not come to fruition. And I'm talking about this actually next week. So I have front row tickets to The Shark is Broken for July 5th, which is opening night. And they've just given me permission to give them or whatever Nate decides to do. And I've sent Nate the teaser photos. So they're out there. All we want no money for them, or if you want to auction it off for someone on Martha's Vineyard, whatever you guys want to do, but they're free for the picking. We would just love to raise money for something. But Nate, whatever you want to do, it's on you. I sent you the teaser photos, so you got those.
Yes. Yep, I got those, and I'll be posting something up later tonight. I want to kind of think about that a little bit, but you guys at home just knowing. So there are going to be a pair of tickets available, courtesy of this gentleman, and this is
Have
what
you
I
guys
come to
seen
know.
the play? Have any of you seen it already?
No.
I saw it.
I
No.
saw it on Broadway with
So
the
did
original
I.
Broadway cast, and it was
Mhm.
terrific. A 90 minutes, it was fantastic. And my wife and I, when we went to the beach Sunday, I think it was, when we were on the island, and as we were walking back through Edgartown, I saw somebody wearing a Shark is Broken shirt. I go, dude, that play was great. He goes, yeah, I directed it, and it was Guy Masterson, and that's
Jesus
me and
Christ.
Guy.
Oh, very
You can
nice,
see that.
very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
He's like, he was making fun of my name, Valentino Capone. He goes, hey, my name is Gaetano. His
Shady.
name is Gaetano. Nice. I like that ad. So his name is
Thank you.
Gaetano Mastroianni is his real name. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
we're paisans, man. I mean, he said his father's from Brooklyn and he's really Italian and real super nice guy. So it couldn't, I'm so happy for him and the success he's had.
I haven't heard the word paisan in probably about 20 years, but I totally appreciate that.
You got it.
I had been looking to run into Guy per conversation that we had. We had him on the show. He's just such an awesome guy to talk to. It's so full of charisma. I ended up running into him like 5 times. Total chance. The first time was at the Shark is Brooklyn. It was the live orchestra with the movie
Mm.
out at Katama. It was the only other event that I actually signed up to even go to. And I had my Shark is Broken sweatshirt on just because it was nighttime. It was getting chilly, and I'm standing there, and I hear this. That's a nice sweatshirt you have on there. I turn around, a guy standing behind me. I'm in line to go to the bathroom, and this guy behind me. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah. And then we talked, and then we went to see the movie in Edgartown with a handful of people that we met. Toby from the UK.
Yeah, Toby Kearton. Yep, he's a good guy.
And David was with us, and there was Jamie. There was a bunch of us, and sure enough, we're standing outside, and Guy like appears out of nowhere. He's like the Shadow from the Shadow knows, and it's like boom, there he is. He shows up, and we're hanging out. And here, what they were doing is they were doing their little promo video for the main actors. They're all standing outside. They're filming them coming down the sidewalk. They're in the theater with us watching the movie. They do this whole deal. It's just a lot of fun. Great guy.
Yep.
Incredible guy. Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. So
yeah, it was great.
It was an amazing show, and it's kind of like, so where do you go from here?
Did you guys go to the live orchestra event at the Winnetou?
That's where I saw him. Yeah, I went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great show. Richard Dreyfuss showed up there too. Got a nice standing ovation.
That was pretty fabulous. I was pretty blown away at the size of the stage. The amount of people that were there was.
I was worried that it was going to be this little dinky little screen, and I didn't know what to expect. And it was like a Taylor Swift concert. The size of that the screen and the orchestra sounded awesome too, man. Up in front, it was a great event. Great event.
Yeah, that was a big scale production. That was not.
Yeah. Well, Alamo Drafthouse, right? They do a good job.
Yeah. Incredibly awesome. Yeah, without a doubt.
Oh shoot.
Very cool.
One thing these people ask me from the theater, from the production crew, is make sure people are in those seats, because none of the actors want to see 2 open seats in the front row. So whatever we got to do to get this out there, and they just replied either this morning or yesterday. So whatever we have to do, give them away, whatever. We've got a small window to do it. I just want to make sure we can do it. And I know Nate, you, Mike, everybody else can figure a way out to do that.
If I was on the island, I would go if I was still there.
I absolutely. I mean, that's just magic to be able to do that.
Somebody's got to be there. Somebody's got to be there.
You won't have trouble.
Close enough or willing to do the day trip. Yeah, gotta be. So I will definitely be posting something up here. I'll make sure something's up tonight. I'll just do something fun and something simple. I don't know, maybe answer a quick question. The first person to do it, guess them or whatever. But yeah,
It's up
definitely.
to you, dude. So they said all I've got to do is once you know who's taking them, just give them the full email with the QR code. All I need is a name, then I give it back to the feeder, and they're good to get in.
All right. Well, I'll be glad to do that for you.
I wish I
Really
was
awesome.
there, man. I would take you up on that offer, man. Man.
I know. I wish I was there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, Janie, we haven't heard a whole lot of feedback from you here. What was your highlight of the event?
Uh, do I have a highlight?
Oh, come on, you got one. Wait a second, you did eat dinner with me, so I mean, come on. That has to come.
Janie, the bridge.
I wasn't on the bridge.
No, that's right. You weren't at the bridge. Yeah.
I'm too
We got
scared
one
to
of our
jump off
friends
that
down to the
bridge.
bridge.
I got one of
Oh,
our good. We got one of our band club members. Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Dawn got to go on the bridge. I didn't go on the bridge.
No.
I didn't do a whole lot while I was there, to be honest. So I kind of feel like I really didn't do anything, actually.
Well, none of us did anything, but the one thing we did, and
Yeah.
I think we can all
But
agree, is we all had some really
it was
good quality
to be
time.
honest. Well, there again, I didn't even get to do that. It was a blur. So
Just walking around with a Jaws shirt. People come up to you, they'd fist
you
bump you,
know,
fist bump you.
no.
Yeah, Jaws. Yeah.
I think. Well, no. Wait a minute. I take it back because I was walking by where the orca was. Seeing the orca was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That was pretty. That scared the shit out of me. Excuse my French,
Not
because
at
it's
all.
like I really was just like, I really want to go on the boat. I want to go on the boat. I want to go on the boat. Can Janie get down the boat? Janie's wearing a dress. Janie can't get down to the boat. So this is not going to be good, but we're going to try. But I walked by and all of a sudden I heard somebody yell out my name and I turned and it was Marty Milner. I was like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be calling out your name, not the other way around. So that was kind of special to me, and seeing Jeff, it was just seeing everybody. It was like to me, it was like a family reunion. That's what it felt like, was a family
It
reunion.
was.
I
Yeah.
don't fangirl anymore. I really don't, because I've been blessed and humbled with Mike to do this several times. The highlight for me was watching, like Nate said, watching everybody else and their experiences, because it was good to see that we have built this up. We laid out the plans for you guys. We knew it was going to happen. The little surprises helped. It was watching everybody else and their joy. That's what was my big thing.
Very cool. Awesome.
Like the proud aunt that I am. It's like, all you guys graduated. Here you go.
It was a family reunion with a family we had never met before. That's what it felt like.
Correct. Exactly.
It was definitely a family vibe the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it was
Exactly.
terrific.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we've got a really, really good kind of stopping point for our first recap here tonight, and it's pretty cool to have definitely some similar perspectives on our feelings and our thoughts and how things went, and that to me just solidifies it just a little bit more. It was as magical as what I thought it was. So very, very cool. Yeah. Awesome.
I want to thank you guys for making that happen, man.
That was these
It was
two right
great.
here.
Likewise.
I had nothing
Hey.
to do with it. Had nothing
I-
to
You
do
guys,
with
you
it.
guys are terrific.
Well, we fully encompassing, if you're in that group. I mean, we just are so thankful for every opportunity, including the opportunity for us to go there and do that. The opportunity to just see people and engage, and yeah, it was huge. And so that's
Listen,
Yeah.
I was out for almost 24 hours that day.
yeah, it was a long night.
It
Yeah.
was, almost 24 hours. So I took 2 planes, a rental car that was behind a truck that had a bunch of logs, and that was like a final destination scenario. And then I got, and then a ferry just to stand there and hold up the wall. Hey man, best vacation ever. I wasn't at work.
Hey, that's right.
That's always a great
you and-
vacation.
Yeah, you and John Candy in a burned down Reliant K car trying to get to the damn show, right?
Man, I would have been in the back of a box truck listening to a polka band just to get there.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, we want to say thank you, and we're going to kind of wrap up. We're rounding in on the hour for now, and stay tuned because we've got more recap because there was a lot of things that happened,
A
nothing that are
lot.
going on. So be prepared for that. And in the meantime, if you're still on that same kind of riding that wave that we are, get out there and check out. I urged everyone to post pictures, to post videos that were there. And check it out because really cool perspective. Even if you were there, maybe some things you didn't do or see. If you weren't there, there's a lot there you can kind of live a little bit vicariously. And the other thing I wanted to say is call the movie theaters up. I stopped by. We had a local AMC here the other day, and this guy came home with me.
Oh. They
So even if,
$43 for that. They wanted $43. Is that what you paid?
listen, I got that in the bucket, right? Right?
I got a
And it was,
hat. I got a hat for $25. One of the Jaws
I,
hats.
and you got to place the story. I got. Do you want the popcorn too?
Oh, wow.
They
Oh,
give
wow.
us two tins of popcorn. They walk out the door and go to the car. I'm walking out to the car $74 later with 3 tubs of popcorn.
That's hilarious.
So is this widely available? Because it's kind of confusing where we are. Nobody's advertising that here.
Well,
We
they
just
have
see
them at
everybody
AMC,
online.
They have them at AMC theaters, and I know they have them at Regal theaters. I think each theater chain has different Jaws
Yes.
memorabilia. So
Yeah.
you got to
Yes,
just
a call.
call.
Yeah. Call.
Okay.
You could probably
Well,
walk into the theater without going into the movie and just say, "Hey, I want to buy
Right.
some
Yeah.
Jaws stuff." And
Well,
they'll
There's
sell
a
here's
it.
lot
the
of
What I
people
did.
doing that. Yeah.
I don't know how it is where you guys are, but everything is like person free. It's like you walk in, there's no ticket checker, and you just you scan your ticket and go in. So I don't know how
Yeah.
this works where we are. Maybe it's behind that counter where they have all the candy or whatever
Yeah, it's by
else.
the it's all by the concession stands.
The
Okay.
concession
Go to the
All by the
concession
concession.
stand. You're going to walk
Yes.
up. I walked up, went in the concession, and said, "Hey," I said, "you guys have the Jaws stuff." And the 17-year-old looks at me and looks back at his manager and goes, "It's one of them again." As his voice was cracking from puberty. And I was like, "Yep, I'll take one of those and 2 of those." So yeah, just go ask. They have them, honestly.
Okay. All right. We'll try that.
He said it was correct.
Mike, you're
Listen.
muted, buddy. We can't hear you.
I muted myself because I was coughing. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
okay.
I went to Jurassic Park Monday night and they didn't have anything at the AMC here.
Oh,
But
really?
My neighbor down the street just texted me something the other day, so we'll find them. I know Alamo was the first one that had it because they do all the Mondo stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought someone said Walmart was carrying them if you ordered online too. So I don't know. Yeah. So if I were you guys, I would just do some scouring online. Chances are you're going to find them somewhere.
Yeah. Always eBay, I guess.
Yep,
Yeah.
There you go.
You'll
Yeah.
find,
There you
they'll
Yeah.
show up. I got a lot of Jaws stuff.
I got a lot of Jaws stuff, and I got a very small bank account right now. So that's just the way it works.
Welcome to the club.
Amen. We had no idea we were actually going to Dubai.
Very cool.
I love
Awesome.
that. I love that jacket.
It is a good one.
That's awesome.
It won't fit me, but it'll fit my wife. That's for sure.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Awesome. We got Robin saying, "I'm desperately trying to find the Jaws blue wine. I found the
Ooh,
red and the
blue.
white, but I didn't find the blue. So look at
I got one
look
bottle
around.
of the red in Edgartown. I got one bottle. It was $25. I went back the next day. Everything's gone. But
The
I got
wine-
one bottle.
The wine spritzer? Is that what
No, I
she's
got the
looking
red.
for?
I got the red.
No,
wine.
they did a red and the red and white. I never saw the blue stuff. I got a red and white, and I got a box.
I've got
I got a box.
one of the employees Monday came in with the blue stuff and a box, the wine box, which I was like, this is better than the bottle. But
Yeah.
He got his own Kool-Aid pouch.
yeah. So I've got the blue stuff. We'll do a trade.
I walked into Edgartown and I saw it in the window at Edgartown Wines, and I was like, I'll take that. And I saw the boxes. I was like, I'll take a box. And the guy behind the counter was like the kid from Better Off Dead. He's like, I want like $2. They were charging for the boxes. You believe that?
It's crazy. Yeah. It's not available here at all. I'm in New Jersey, like northern New Jersey, New York City area, and it's nowhere near here. I can't get it at all.
We couldn't find it. We saw the displays, but we could not find any of the bottles
Yeah,
when we
there's
were up
nothing
there.
Too
in
bad.
Tennessee either because I looked here in Knoxville and I don't see anything.
I walked around to every store on the island and asked, and most of them we're thinking back to when Coppola did the Jaws line like 10, 15 years ago, and
Oh yeah.
either didn't know or wasn't really interested in all of that. And so, yeah, so I did go into Edgartown and I grabbed them. And actually, probably the best thing that I did, the smartest thing I did the entire trip was I went to Jamie Saunders was staying literally like a quarter mile away from me. And he said, listen, you guys got to come over for dinner. And I had my two bottles, the red and the white, and I showed up on his porch and I said, Jamie Saunders? He goes, Nate. And I said, I didn't know what you'd be serving, so I bought red and white.
That's what I did to Donna.
Yes.
I went to Donna's house. We bought a bottle of white and red, and I said the exact same thing.
I don't need to hear anything else. That made the night.
Well, everybody,
awesome, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
great
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Anytime you want, I'm around whenever you need me.
And
awesome.
And the quote, Mayor Vaughn, remember, tomorrow is the 4th of July, and those beaches are going to be open.
And those are summer dollars.
That's
exactly right. Awesome, guys. Thank you, Jim. Want to thank you, Val. Want to thank you, William, for coming on tonight.
Jim, nice seeing you, Jim. Janine, Michael, Nate, love you guys. Your family.
Thank you, Mike, and Nate. Thank you.
Oh, our pleasure. Happy to do it.
Yeah, Janie, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Nah, say it.
No, it's okay.
Come on.
Well, if you would have noticed, I changed my name on the bottom.
I saw that. Joe's sister. You betcha.
Okay. I love it.
So there's a reason why I did that tonight. And Michael had already announced it or had already put up a little greeting. So I cannot go without this night without saying a big happy birthday to the OG Jay Smith, who started this. And I'm proud to kind of just be a part of that, writing her Shark Tale. And so she always called me her Jaws sister. That's
nice. Nice. That's an awesome connection. I didn't even realize it was her birthday yet.
You're our sister now.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Whether you like it or not,
Whether you like it or not, that's for her. So if you're watching it all, babe, happy birthday.
Love you, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay. Love you, Jay. Absolutely. And miss you. All right. Yeah. Well, as we always do, is this tradition here, guys. We're gonna do a little fins up, and then we're gonna let Quinn take us out. Wish you guys at home a happy and safe 4th of July. Please don't come back like this because you held the firework too long. Just be safe.
Yeah,
don't do that kind of stuff.
No blowing up sharks on the 4th of July.
Don't blow it.
We'll see you guys later and have a wonderful
day. You too. Thank you.
To you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.
Good night.
Good night.